Happy Sunday evening, everybody. Very excited. This is my first episode of the New Year, New You with our special guest, Julie Kjellberg. She'll be joining us shortly. I'm going to give everybody a chance to check in. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Julie. This one's right up you guys' alley. I wanted to go ahead and do FasciaYoga for the first episode because it's such an integral part of the New Year, New You program. So if you're doing a little FasciaYoga here and there, or if you've never even heard of it, this is a great episode for you to watch because we're going to go a little bit into the science. You're going to get to know Julie better and her story. And we want to talk a lot about the future of what we're going to do with FasciaYoga. So if you're a yogi instructor, or you own a gym or a studio, you want to hang out and watch this. But we're going to dive right in as soon as Julie requests to join. Hello, everyone. Hello, Lori. Hello, Karen. Hello, Lauren. Iris, welcome. It's really going to be a good one. We're just going to have to try, Julie and I, to not run off into our pajama party because her and I are friends in real life and we talk all the time, and usually the conversation is intended to be 5 minutes and we end up talking for hours. She's been a big support with me. Hello, Julie Poole. How are you, darling? Your children are getting huge. Jeanette, hello. Jeanette's body is changing. Hello, Stephanie Norman. Sheila Miller. All right, Julie, are you having technical difficulties requesting on the main page? We did test this in a private group earlier today, but Lorena Tapia is from Los Angeles. I definitely spent a lot of time there learning to surf in Manhattan Beach. Carolyn Wallace, Hochhalter, hello. Julie, we're not getting old. It's an old friend from college. I don't want to say old. Good friend from college. Cute as a button. Tamara Renee, hello, darling. Jacinia. I'm just waiting to try to bring Julie on. Julie Kjellberg, are you sending a request? Rhonda Cordell Norman says, hi, love you both. We love you back. Ooh, Rhonda is in from Newfoundland. That's so cool. Sharon Ann Lance is asking about MS, so I would love for someone from the crowd to chime in. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try to do this. Nope. Friend request. I think I gotcha. Oh wow, it gives me the whole list of everyone viewing. Here we go. Are you ready? The portal is opening. It says connecting.
Hey! I'm like, swipe, invite me.
Julie and I are the absolute least technologically inclined people that I know. So this is actually a miracle. Why did we do this first? We should have tested this with 5 other guests.
We did it.
We did it. So welcome. I'm so happy to have you as my first guest. As you know, some of the people in our roster are people that I've encountered on the way in the scientific world, and some are my family, and some are people who've done clients and things with me over the years. But this one is very special because Julie is really involved pretty much in my daily life. I follow her in FasciaYoga, so it's it's really awesome to have you. I wanted to start out and just, for those of you who don't know Julie, she's a very special person to me. She came into the business as a customer, as does all of my team, and she has a tremendous story. So, Julie, they see you now. You know, they see this beautiful body, they see this vibrant woman, but it hasn't always been that way. So,
No, it has not. Yeah, so hello everybody, and thank you, Ashley, for having me as your guest. And anytime you want to adopt another adult child, I will change my name to Black. I'm there. Yeah. So I found the Fascia Blaster in the summer of 2015. It was before the Facebook group existed, and I had been suffering with widespread pain. And I was given a diagnosis of fibromyalgia that I did not accept. I was always on a quest to heal myself. And one of the best things I had ever tried was the Theracane. It was really good. I had upper thoracic pain, frozen shoulder bothered me a lot after surgery. And when the Fascia Blaster came across my screen, I'm like, that is my Theracane on steroids. And I just hit, order. And first time I used it on my frozen shoulder, it was the absolute best pain relief I'd ever had. And so then I went over on my bad hip. I had a hip bursitis so bad I couldn't lay on my side. And it started getting better. But then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, my leg is changing. And it was, I'm like, wow. And so I started going all over, realizing that I could contour my body with it. And the rest is just probably what you've seen unfold. It's been amazing.
it's such a great story because I think it's how so many people come to the group and then become leaders. We're just so compelled to share the information. Whenever somebody gives me their story, I'm like, look, when, I was divorcing my husband, I was crippled, I had 3 small children, and I hadn't worked in 5 years, when I first ventured out to try to heal myself. So under whatever circumstances we have, we can, if we, take all the steps and basically just get out of our own way and learn. So,
yeah. So I know when we started the group, I was not real big into social media, and I was kind of shy. And I was in the comments. So I was hiding in the comments. I was so shy. You guys won't believe this, but
no,
I would leave a comment to help somebody, and then after they would see it, I would go back and erase it. And then I finally made my...
It's so funny for those who have been around in the group forever. It's such a culture. And if you're new, I really encourage you to go join it. Everything is in, we're talking about the Fascia Blasters for women this group, and it's actually in the post. So I love that. I mean, it makes me feel good to, have guided you in this direction, but it's not like you woke up one day and were like, oh, I'm going to lead FasciaYoga. I mean, you have a long history as a fitness and yoga instructor. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your background professionally with this?
Yeah, so fitness was always a passion of mine. And I was a group fitness instructor, kind of like as a hobby job, and I was suffering from a lot of pain that was keeping me from doing my activities. I had went to yoga teacher training like 15 years ago the first time. And I found I was born with some foot deformities as well and had multiple surgeries and bones lengthened. And over the years, I lost my flexibility in my feet from the buildup of scar tissue. So I had my shoulder that I'd had surgery on, it was frozen, and my feet that I couldn't get any flexibility in. So like 10 years ago, I was not able to do yoga anymore. I know, I've come a long way, huh? I couldn't hold myself up in a plank because of my shoulder. It was such pain, and I couldn't, my toes, I had no flexibility. And so I was always on this quest to heal. I'm also a massage therapist. And after I found the Fascia Blaster, I was blasting and my pain was getting better and I was able to start doing more activities. And I slowly got back into the gym and I'm able to hike again. I hadn't run for years. And so then I went back to teacher training again, just because I love yoga. And when I was a fitness instructor, I taught a lot of group stretch classes. So when you came out with this ball,
is that back in the day before we actually had an official name for those
yes.
classes? I remember so long ago, you know, working in racket clubs when I was, you know, a teenager, and we didn't, it was just called like aerobics.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we've come a long way as a society, and I love that fascia yoga is kind of a natural evolution. You know, I think that you took to fascia blasting and the fascia yoga like a duck to water. Like it was just a natural transition, right?
Oh, absolutely. I got on that ball and I started rolling and I just really never stopped rolling. I'm like, this feels amazing. And
Yeah.
it's so hard for me to describe to people. I'm like, it's how it makes you feel that is so unique. And they're like, well, compare it to a certain yoga or a certain, you know, and I'm like, it's not really that comparable because it's kind of a combination of yin and yang. It's, you know, what speed you want to go and stretching the whole fascia lines, moving on that ball is.
It's just different. I mean, it's interesting because when I launched it on Fascia Yoga Day last year, I actually did an event in New York with the media, you know, and these are people who report on fitness. And a lot of them were already fans, which made it great. But when I tell you, and Justine was there, she can tell you, it was like the class was completely silent. And I was like, do they like it? Do they not like it? Like, oh, wow, like, did I screw up here? And at the end, everybody was just like blown away. Like people who had been doing yoga for years, or, you know, people who were, you know, CrossFitters or people who've never done anything like that. They were like, my body actually changed. You know, it's one thing to get a great stretch, and it's another thing to actually feel your body change. So I know you experienced that, and we had a little chat earlier before the show. So Julie, I would love for you to share with them kind of how you've taken fascia yoga and actually put it in the studio and how you organize it, because I know that we have a lot of business women out there that would probably follow suit. I remember the day that Julie called me, she was like, can I use that name? So,
please.
of course, I said yes. Spread the word. And so we have big plans, but I want to take them through kind of where your journey is now. So Julie obviously is running the Fascia Yoga group, which is pretty much a full-time job. But in addition to that,
pretty much,
yeah. Well, that's a lot. That's a boundary conversation we can have. But no, I want them to know what you're doing, because I think some people only think about fascia yoga is in terms of doing like an hour in the app, or, you know, following one of your programs or one of my live feeds or whatever, when really this is also much bigger than that, the way that you do it in a class format, and also much smaller than that, like the way that I did a couple of hip stretches at the end of my training session this morning.
Right. So what is really great, like Ashley just said, is you can do a nice dynamic stretch on the ball, or, you know, you can do the whole entire thing. And I knew this ball, I knew it was just, the more I used it, I'm like, this is something special. This is unique, but the way it makes you feel was just like, you know, I had had a lot of sports massage training and certifications. And I'm like, it's just like someone is stretching me, because the ball allows you to move in and out. And so I had contacted Ashley. I'm like, you need to roll this out big. I mean, you know, if you're not going to, can I have the name? If you don't, I will. And so I took it into the studio and invited other yoga instructors that had been in the business a long time. I am lucky to have a very good friend in the business, Sumit Banerjee. He's the nephew of Bikram. And if any of you do hot yoga, if you've heard of Sumit's yoga, he's across the nation, but he developed the hot yoga sequence. And so I had him try it out and took it into his studio. And people were just amazed at how it made them feel. Just like one time, and they're like, wow, my neck has never felt so good. My shoulders. I had someone that had a headache for 5 days, and they came and they're like, their headache just went away. We carry so much stress up here, and this ball just allows you to relax. And I started playing around, and I really evolved the class as I went, and I'd ask people their feedback. And so I do a 75-minute class in a heated yoga studio. And I open it up with some meditative breathing, get everybody centered. Sometimes I do some aromatherapy, work on the nervous system to calm them down. And then we go into 60 minutes of stretching on the ball. And then we have about 8 to 10 minutes at the end that is meditation and, deep breathing and really just calming them down. I'll come around and give them a little massage, or sometimes I'll put a tuning fork on their heart center. Depends kind of like what I'm talking about that day. And people are just blown away how they feel.
Yeah. I mean, you're really literally changing people's human structure. And I love that the class incorporates so many elements of just fasciology in general, with the heat, with the flow, with the neurological fire up, with the neurological relaxation. That's a lot of the components, not just of the New Year, New You, but, just fasciology, the science in general. Because I always tell people, the fascia blasting is, really important, but it's, one piece of the puzzle. And it always bothered me that I had the knowledge, to do the stretch, to do the biomechanics, to do the nutrition, and, was kind of boxed into the fascia blaster. So I love what you're doing. I think it is definitely going to take off. So let's talk about that a little bit before everybody starts popping up my trademark term, fascia yoga.
Yes, that is trademarked.
A little bit about our plan.
Well, I've been busy. I'm going to sell Ashley on this idea. So we are working on a certification program for fascia yoga. And if you are in the industry, or maybe you're not, maybe you're looking for a new career, hopefully we'll be launching this right after the New Year, New You is finished up. And if you're a studio owner, or maybe you just love yoga or the gym, it can be, at your gym or Pilates studio. This doesn't necessarily have to be yoga. I think Ashley may have added the name yoga on there to hit this market. It definitely could be fascia stretching, or dynamic fascia stretching, fascia flow.
The thing is it's so funny because I am a yogi and I practice yoga, and I don't know how much people know about Costa Rica, but this place is serious. Okay. I was describing the studio that I go to, and I mean, it's full class in Indian language, very strict silence, nobody's getting away with rotating a hip. And I just want everybody to know, if you are a yogi, that I have so much respect that is traditional yoga. And when I named this product FasciaYoga, it was really because I just believe, at the end of the day, yoga means united, and that's what we're trying to do, is unite the body via this fascia-centric life. So I don't think for 1 minute that this is going to fall under Iyengar or some other, yogi philosophy. But, Julie and I were talking about why my heart rate gets so high. If you are a traditional yogi and you follow, going back 2,500 years, you can certainly incorporate those principles in this. But I actually designed this based after, like Julie just said, fascial stretching. And I did it as a fascial stretch therapist, where I would lie somebody on the table and I was actually able to traction them and I was able to grab their skin and pull and get the fascia. And when I discovered that the ball would grab and do that, it was like, oh wow, every single thing that I used to do as a therapist, I can now transfer to, you know, this ball. And it only took me like a week or two to throw it all together. So, I mean, Julie, you can speak for sure since you've been certified in all types of different yoga and you teach it and you get the feedback. I mean, explain to them really how different this is and why.
Yeah, so one thing I think we need to start a whole new yoga category, fascia yoga, right? And it's so unique. We are really working on the whole fascia system, all the different planes. And, you know, that is what makes it so incredible, is that you can traction your joint and get in there. And when your joint is in traction, you get more of a stretch, and you're actually stretching the fascia and the muscle, so you can have, you know, improved access. So that it's just very unique in that format, that you can roll with your breath, working on calming the nervous system. You can grab, you can traction, you know, give it some assist. It's, you know, with the floor, there's limitations. And with the ball, it opens up new opportunities to stretch.
Yeah, I love that, having that play. And, you know, for me, I definitely see the future of fascia yoga, including PNF stretching, you know, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. And it's just very hard to do that with the floor because you dig down into the floor. But it's not the same type of activation of actually being able to concentrically contract. So I'm super stoked to take this first round of people through what we're teaching them, and then I see this completely evolving. I see people commenting. Do you see the comments or just me?
I turned them off so I could see you. And I would be up like this.
But no, I'm seeing all the comments, and people are like, basically they're like, fascia yoga Pilates, you know. I have to tell you, so my workouts are becoming that, you know. I basically, today I did bands on the ball and then turned right around and did, you know, crunches, and then turned around and did a hip stretch. I mean, that's the beauty of it, is you're not boxed into like a single philosophy. You know, this is something that can be thrown into anyone's program. So
yeah, absolutely. And also, you know, just someone that's teaching restorative yoga, there's so much you can just bring this ball in and use. And, you know, we're just showing the basic moves right now in the group. There is so much you can do on this ball, but that's level 2.
Well, I want to move into that pretty quickly. I definitely wanted to kind of go through the history. I wanted people to know that, you know, I think we do have a lot of hopeless people when they start, and it's really inspiring. My story, as well as your story, you know, it's, you know, we're all human. Most of us had some type of injury. It's like every time I encounter somebody, they immediately just start telling me about their injuries. I don't know one person that's like, oh, I'm perfect, you know. So coming from an injured space, you know, Julie and I had a real heart-to-heart about, you know, stress and adrenal failure, and, you know, how that affects you and makes you gain weight, and you know, but, you know, we're human beings, and, you know, we've found our own solutions, and putting that together and sharing it with you guys is really what this is all about. For me, for sure. What's your driving factor, Julie?
You know, well, I have you to thank for giving me my life back. I am living life medication free and without limitations and pain. And it's
lots
just
of hearts going up.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Of course, I like my heart-shaped butt, but that, what good is it?
I think your butt shot has become more famous than mine, which I'm more than happy to pass that booty torch to you, girl.
Yeah, so it really is about how this has made me feel, and you know, never giving up and always on the quest to be the best that I can be. And to me, that is, you know, not living with limitations and in pain. And
I feel
because
that.
when you're in pain and struggling and you can't do the things you want to do, even, you know, so when I was in this pain and I gained weight, that also had took its toll on me because I didn't want to do anything, or
Yeah.
I didn't want to go swimming with my daughter because I didn't want to put on a swimming suit, or so I've kind of been in both arenas here, and you know, these programs you've put together are incredible.
Well, and I really, particularly with New Year, New You know, we all
Mm.
behind the scenes have talked a lot about fascia blasting because that's what our groups were about. But all of us really do take it to that next level. And I'd love to revisit, Julie, that conversation we had today, because I have to tell you, I don't know the whole age range of all of our followers, but I have to tell you that, you know, Julie and I were talking about our own personal programs, and she was saying, I take people through a 90-minute, let me look at my notes, a 90-minute fascia blasting class.
Mhm.
Then they have a break. Then they do a 75-minute fascia yoga, and then half the people are at the door to keep going. And, you know, I think that it's sort of a weird thing to think about working out for 3 or 4 hours a day, but that is my lifestyle as well, you know, and maybe it's not always organized, but just, you know, walking around in the heat and then, you know, hitting a gym workout in the morning and then maybe going surfing and then doing restorative yoga at night, whatever. But I think that if you are looking like Julie and I to be athletic, right? To me,
Mhm.
the athleticism is the medicine. And to be athletic, it can't just be a couple of days a week in the gym lifting weights. You know, that's when you're 25, you can get a hot body doing that with a little bit of diet. And when you're older, to have that full on athleticism and a youthful body and the flexibility and all that, it's a lot of attention that you have to put to your body. So speak a little bit to your personal program, because I don't want people thinking that they can pick up the fascia blaster and look like Julie Tilburg. Because it's not,
Oh,
that's not how you do it. It's a
well,
whole combination.
some people are just that lucky, but you know, I mean, I put the time in, and as I was getting my pain got less and less, I just started doing more and got back to the gym. And as I felt better, I think I wanted to eat less, and I was just enjoying life more. And I just continued to do more and more. And I think a lot of it, you know, when you fascia blast, just the temporary increase in blood flow and bringing all that oxygenated blood. I would start, you know, I did my feet a lot because of my deformities and all my scar tissue. And I would start there thinking I was just going to do my feet. And then pretty soon it was, you know, an hour and a half later, and I was doing my whole body. And it's just like changed my mindset of
Mm-hmm.
how I looked at the day, and it like woke me up every time and
Yeah.
energized me. And you know, adding the fascia yoga, for anyone, I think that you probably depends what phase you're in, but fascia yoga, I don't think you would maybe have to do as much maintenance blasting or blasting
I think so
because,
too. Yeah.
hmm, yeah,
I've noticed
especially.
it's interesting, Julie, because, you know, I pre-gamed for 4 weeks before I jumped into the 12-week companion guide New Year program.
Mhm.
And I had planned on blasting a lot more. But
Mhm.
it's amazing when you incorporate the stretching and the stability, and, you know, you're doing the fascia mechanics. So you're not basically taking 2 steps forward and 2 steps back by having bad mechanics and all that kind of stuff. The blasting is actually a little bit less, which is awesome, because you know, now I can focus on things that I hadn't been, like my hands. So,
Yes, exactly. But
but
yeah,
rather than
so
like going after a love handle, you know, I'm focused on, you know, things that maybe I would have put on the back burner.
right, right. So yeah, the fascia yoga, these long stretches and rolling is just enough to keep everything from sticking together. And so you don't have, I think it keeps the pain level down. And yeah, so that's what I've really noticed. I've been doing this now for a year, fascia yoga.
Yeah.
So,
Also, too, Julie, I
And
know we both do it, don't you? I combine blasting and the yoga. Like, I'll get
oh,
an
you,
energized stretch on that ball and grab that paddle blaster, and go to
I,
town.
I do it all. I mean, and you
With
know,
cups while
I
meditating.
I got cups on. I got half a sauna suit. Maybe yeah. I go all out. But yeah,
Yes.
so the fascia yoga is so great that you can go at a little quicker pace and use it as a warm up, or you can go, slow with your breathing, inhale and exhale, and it'll calm you. But there's still something that's happening with that fascia manipulation that afterward you're calm, but yet you're energized and you feel light
Yes.
and lengthened. And
Right. Instead of beat to death. Yeah.
yes,
Well,
yes.
I also like too, mixing in like doing, maybe lifting. Let's just use the biceps, for instance, lifting with the biceps, blasting the biceps, and then getting in a fascia yoga stretch. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
you're doing the repairing all along the way. I remember that concept specifically. I was working with the Houston Astros, and Barry Bonds had come to town, and he like had his guy, right? So he would lift, and then his guy would massage him, and then he would lift, and I thought, wow, I would love to have somebody, massage me in between my sets. And this was before the Fascia Blaster, obviously. But like, what a great way to incorporate it. They do it at Venice Beach Gym. I've seen them.
And
So,
that's what I do at my fascia blasting class. Sometimes the girls give me a look like, I'm like, yeah, get up, get to the wall. And we take our yoga ball and we'll go through a whole song of wall squats, knees out plie. So they're like, I'm like, no,
exactly.
go. Yeah. And then we go back and
Exactly.
we blast and then we stretch. We do it all in that class. It's amazing. If anyone's ever in Scottsdale, look me up. We're at Sumit's Yoga in Scottsdale. It's fun.
I want to come to Scottsdale. You need to start live streaming those classes in the Fascia Yoga group, girl. That would be so cool. I've just started
I
live streaming whatever's happening in my house. I don't
yeah.
know if
So
I can get
the
the cameras in Shiramashanti yoga studio over here, but
yeah, I did live stream. I've live streamed a couple. One to the Masters and one last week to the Fascia Yoga. But I play music. And I also have public people there, so I have to make sure that they're not on camera. I have to make sure everything's charged, the internet's working that day. It's like,
girl, I hear you.
oh, and then the music. Then as soon as you'd live feeds over, they kick it off because of the music. So it's like,
So let's put this out here, Julie. I'm reading the comments. So there's a couple of cleanup questions. One, you can learn fascia yoga from my app. It's iOS or iPhone. Okay. Well, no, are those the same thing? I don't know. Whatever. It's
I
same
don't
site.
know, Droid and Apple.
Oh, you got, yeah, Apple and yeah. So then you just type in fascia yoga and I talk you through it. But what we definitely want to promote is the fascia yoga group for New Year, New You. And I see people posting the links. It's also in the main post. If you go to the New Year, New You on my website, it has the yoga. And Julie is leading the group. I'm popping in from time to time, but in each group for New Year, New You, I have an expert in there to just make sure that everyone gets their questions answered and all of that. And I also really love the way and appreciate Julie so much for the way that she makes things flow. That is a big part of it because you don't want that disrupted going, like on and off the floor. And the way that she puts her programs together are just superb. So really happy about that. Second thing they're asking is, where are you? And her classes are in Scottsdale. I'll let her decide. She said, I'm too busy. I get it. So you would definitely want to, first of all, if you win New Year, New You, Julie is donating a private session, either by video conference or in person. So
Or come
that's
see me.
awesome. But you can give them the studio information. You guys can talk about, that's why we formed separate groups. So you can go in there and talk that. So just go post the question, how to find her and all that stuff. Everybody's like, when's class?
Okay, yeah. And so if you are new to fascia yoga, or maybe you haven't even tried it yet, join the fascia yoga group. And even if you're new to fascia blasting, I took the companion guide and I listed it for the girls, the suggested blasting schedule, and I matched it up, so if you're blasting arms, I matched up all of the fascia yoga stretches that coincide, and I've laid it out for you. So if you're one of those people that you like a little bit of a schedule to follow so you don't have to think so much, and I have daily video in there for you.
And also too, like, I think people feel like, oh, I got to get ready and do fascia yoga. Like, one of the things I love about it is you could literally be in your pajamas and just have, you know, like 45 minutes that you would normally be in front of the TV. Just get in front of Julie or me, you know, and it's not like a kick your ass workout. You feel refreshed and better afterwards. So, you know, I see a lot of people being like,
first thing I do if I sleep funny is I come down to my yoga ball, or I keep one in my bedroom, and I just do some stretching. Boom. Just, it's so quickly, just getting that movement, you can get rid of the stiffness, the kinks, you know, if you wake up all funky.
No doubt. Right now, talking about it, I have my ball behind me. I'm like, I want to stretch my hips before I go to bed. One last thing I wanted to touch on, because they're all going, when is the certification? When is the certification? Julie and I are talking about organizing it in regions of the country, so that it will be nice and close, and then do follow up online, but around the summertime. Don't worry, we will for sure announce it. I really
you're going to hear about it. Yeah. I would say, get in the fascia yoga. Go ahead.
Sorry, my phone cut out. What'd you say?
I was just going to say, for everyone, I have my comments shut off, but for anyone inquiring, you know, join the Fascia Yoga group and watch for announcements. But we will be looking, I hope, Ashley, for host areas. You know, if you're a studio owner, or like I was saying, if you just have a yoga studio you go to, tell them about this. You can be one of the first studios to bring Fascia Yoga in. You know, when I introduced it here in Scottsdale, and I invited yoga instructors, it was a little intimidating. These are some guru fascia.
Yeah, you're talking about like some lineage there. Yeah.
Yeah, and they loved it. And the first things they were saying is, how can I teach this? And I go, well, you can't yet, because Ashley has a trademark. But yeah, so everybody, they want it right now. So we will keep a list and kind of decide where to launch. And
yeah, I'm down for us starting that spreadsheet. Where's like the technological people on the staff?
I mean,
we'll let them do the smart sheets.
I have a good moderator that maybe she knows how to do a spreadsheet.
Like, start at a community center or a studio or a church. Absolutely. I love that. I love that whole idea. I think it'll spread naturally. You know, I think people kind of got up on me about not doing a Fascia Blaster certification, but I felt like it would stunt the growth of what I'm trying to accomplish. And at the end of the day, I don't want that. I want people to play with the instrument, whether that's the ball, the blaster, and go do their own thing. The only thing I would say is, if we're going to market it as fascia yoga, then you want to take the certification. You also really do want to learn it. If you haven't read my book, The Cellulite Myth, it really is more like a fascia encyclopedia. And it's really important to know where those lines go. I don't care what your education is. I feel like the fascia component is still something that you can't go learn in a university or massage school or yoga. You know, they brush on it, but not really diving in and understanding how the fascia works. And when you're doing these stretches, that it's not just, oh, this feels good, but there's a lot of science that went into the design of these things.
Yeah, and I know that ultimately it's your decision, but we still have to talk it all out. But I would like, you know, as we kind of briefly discussed, is, you know, even someone that's not a yoga teacher or a personal trainer, maybe you're just passionate and you want to do something different, to still have the ability to learn fasciology and come and get certified for fascia yoga.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful and totally aligned with what I want and everyone else. As long as you can learn the information and teach a good class, then Julie and I are going to be
I'll teach you.
Yeah, let's do it. We're not going to make it easy on you, though. This is some picky girls right here.
Yeah, you would have to know. You would have to know some basic anatomy and learn the fascia lines, but it's nothing that you can't learn. And we will put together. We, or one of us, will put together, you know, the material needed. You know, set it up so.
I feel like there's somebody out there that's just participating in New Year, New You, maybe be a first time exerciser, and they're going to have such an incredible life change that they're going to want to be a fascia yoga instructor. I can already see it happening and feel it coming. So,
Or they're
everybody
just
in
going to
here is
want
like,
me,
I've got a massage room, I've got a gym, I've got this.
or,
So,
or they're just going to want me to come to their city to visit them.
yeah, exactly. So, to be officially training. Watch out,
Yes.
everybody. I've hung out with Julie in the evening. She's like a gremlin after midnight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Okay, so while we have the expertise of Miss Chilberg right here with us, I'm going to go ahead and also, you're frozen for me, so I can't see it. So you may have to talk through it, Julie, just so I know that you're doing it. But I know that there's a lot of questions coming up about, you know, can I use it for this and can I use it for that? So I thought it would be great while we have them live to take them through a little bit of it so they can see, you know, what it looks like. And I know you have a great kind of warm up that you do. Maybe we could start with that. I'll do it with you if I can. You just have to verbally coach me because I can't see you.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody grab your ball.
Start
So
with that.
yeah, grab. There's always that. You have yours, Ashley?
Yep.
All right. So I'll try to stay in focus here. So this is a stretch. Okay. I think you can see me. This is one that I do a lot. When I wake up in the morning or midday, it's so good for the lateral lines and our hips. We never stretch our lateral lines enough. So I just start out windshield wipering back and forth. And it's your, yeah, so far, so I'm just getting the fluid in my hip socket moving, and I'm becoming aware of my internal and external rotation of my hips. And then I stop, and this is where the ball comes in. Make sure you can all see me. And I just take an inhale, and I square my body up to the ball. And on the exhale, I push the ball out. And I come down towards the floor. And this stretch is incredible on my entire left side, my lats, and I roll it up one vertebrae at a time, and my chin comes up last. And you inhale at the top. We're always using good posture. And then you exhale and you roll it down. And you bring it back up. And then I get more stretch. I move it a little to the right. And I continue rolling out. Forehead, chest coming towards the floor. I bring it up one vertebrae at a time. And then I'll continue. I'll move it a little more to the right and run out of space here. And I roll it out. And this time when I bring it in, I stop with it at my hip. And then I inhale and exhale. I bring my elbow down, catch myself, and I inhale. Bring my arm over. So we're getting that entire left side. And then you take it to an extend. And then you can start shifting, getting some gentle movement.
Julie, I just have to tell you, in case people are watching me thinking that I don't have a brain in my head, I'm hearing like every other word and I can't see you. So I think I'm just going to read the questions to you and let you be the instructor of
I wonder if it's you or me.
Girl, you know, I'm in a second world country, so it's probably me, but that's okay. As long as, I mean, they can see you, so I'm all about it. They're saying I need that ball.
Oh, can they see me?
Stretch.
Oh, I'll finish showing them this.
Yeah, they're good. So you
can
just
see me?
go ahead and go on, and I'm gonna watch.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch a frozen video of you. That's what I've been looking at the whole night. But as long as girls are getting it, I'm okay with it.
So this move right here, yep, and you can put it down a little lower. This move right here, going back and forth, absolutely incredible on the hip right here. So it's kind of like a half moon, and you can even take it all the way into the half moon, extending out, inhaling and exhaling, and just melting into the ball. And then when we come up very slowly, and we roll it up.
Are you doing the lateral line stretch right now?
What's that?
Are you doing the
Yeah,
lateral?
I am. Yep, yep, with the
Okay.
feet up. And then you can come to the side and bring the feet up. Yep. So now we're going to get the rest of this side. So then I inhale up, try to get in camera here. And I scapular depression, bringing it down. And then I can push myself up and I can roll back and forth.
Julie, this probably looks really funny because I'm doing my own little version of whatever I think you're doing.
Yeah, so that's just a nice hip opener. Absolutely feels incredible and it takes just a few minutes. Oh, okay, you can see and hear us both. Yay. It sounds like they can see and hear us both.
Molly says, Ashley, you're out of camera. Yeah, I'm just a fail right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all good. Julie, take the wheel.
Yeah. And so a lot of times I open the class with a chest opener, you know, bringing our heart up, just legs relaxed, doing some deep breathing. And this right here is just...
Did you say you're doing a chest opener? What are you laying over the ball like in cactus arms, or are you doing like the roll back and internal rotation?
I'm just on my back on the ball lengthwise. And so my glutes are on the ground and the ball's in the small of my back. And then you can bring your arms up if it's the beginning of class and start to move it.
Okay, I'm going to back up to see if I can get in frame.
Yeah. And then at the beginning, and then I'll bring it over, bring it back, inhale, bring my arms, and we'll just start getting some movement. So those are a couple of stretches that are super easy, and our lateral line and our front line always need stretched.
They're like long ways on the spine. I was doing it over the ball. I've actually been working on my back bend, and that is a great way to do it supported. I don't know about anybody else, but you know, I haven't done a back bend since I was a gymnast. And you know, once I had my hip surgeries, I think my thoracic spine got the worst of it. That's where I go to stabilize. So I like to roll over that ball and put my hands on the floor and push up from there. So
yeah. Also, just so everyone that's done yoga knows the child's pose. It's so nice just to get into child's pose and just roll it out and then bring it up and just doing some moving child's poses. This feels so good for the spine.
Yeah. I like, again, going back how the floor doesn't limit you in child's pose, because it's really easy to, you know, retract the scapula, externally rotate, get the you know, synovial fluid going in the shoulders, and then you're not limited by the floor. So I hope that she's doing the same one I'm doing. I'm going to do a little bit with you.
Yes, if you guys have your ball, try this. This is just, it feels so good. Did we lose Ashley again? Yeah. And then I think your favorite is the hip opener. Isn't that your favorite?
Are you doing it in the lunge, or are you doing a like a glute stretch, pigeon?
The hip flexor stretch.
Okay, I'm going to do that with you because this is like my daily. This was in the companion guide. This is the one I do probably a couple of times a day for my hip replacement. I love it.
Yeah, so in class we do several variations. We roll back and forth, and then we come up, we hold, and we inhale, and we exhale, we inhale, and then we turn. And also, it's nice to come down on your knee into regular pigeon and just roll it back and forth.
I love the back leg on it for pigeon.
I know, isn't that amazing?
It is.
Sorry,
amazing.
it's hard to fit in here. Yeah, I'm down like this.
I feel like too, for our traditional yogis, I mean, like, what an amazing way to open up your root chakra in this format that we're doing.
Yep. Yep. It's also nice even, to come over and just get the ball and do some movement.
Everybody's like, this is my favorite stretch. It's the one thing I do every day. So important to have our hips open. And really, when are we in hip extension?
Never. And it really is about just keeping moving. I mean, you get on this ball and, oh, it's amazing.
And so anyone out there that's looking at this and thinking that it looks challenging, we have a hashtag. It's just hashtag FasciaYoga modifications. And I literally show all of this holding on, full on to a couch, even the stuff with spinal rotations where the ball is stable. So let me tell you, I have, parents in their 70s and they can do this with the modifications. In fact,
I hope some of my, I just want to say, I hope some of my, I had my comments off, but I hope some of my girls are on here, my local girls. I have Tina. Tina is old. Sorry, Tina. She's getting ready to celebrate her 50th wedding anniversary. So she is getting up there around 70. Yep. And I have Sherry, and Sherry is 73. And they come and they blast for 90 minutes and they do fascia yoga. And they absolutely love it. And they, their stories are amazing. They've both been blasting for a couple of years and adding the fascia yoga.
I'm here.
Yay! Yeah. And we have a new motivator, Sue. She's been to my classes here locally, and hopefully she's chimed in to what she likes. Amy is another one that she had been going through physical therapy and had just had surgery, and doing this combination in the fascia yoga.
They're all commenting. They're like, they said it is challenging, but it feels amazing afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that the heat is such a big deal, you guys. Mm-hmm. Even right now, I turned on the air conditioning because I'm just such a sweaty person, and I actually did my brows tonight. So I didn't want to sweat, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. Like the muscles and the fascia need to have that heat. It's so important. So I really commend you on everything that you're doing, Julie. And thank you for coming on tonight and sharing your expertise and bringing people from your class. And just having, the validation from people who do this every day. I really appreciate that. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds for us. I was thinking about my show every Sunday night, and I told Julie to be thinking about these things because this is how I'm going to end every show. We're going to say, what do you live by? Like, what is your quote of the week, which is your kind of life quote? What do you live by?
Never give up.
Eva?
Eva. My middle name is Perseverance. Yeah, you get knocked down, you get back up again. Don't ever give up hope.
No, I mean, I don't think that you could be in a much more destitute position than I was, just literally trying to cling to life. So I am with you. Never give up. And also, even when somebody hands you the death sentence, whether that is, like Julie with fibromyalgia, or, oh, Ashley, you'll never be able to move your hip this way. Bodies will do what bodies are trained to do. and bodies will react in a way that you can, you can train them if you have the knowledge. And now no one has any excuse because this is the knowledge, and we're just going to keep, adding things to it.
Yeah.
In terms of fascia
Yeah, and
yoga,
just
Julie, what is your number one tip? Number one, if they only hear one thing all night.
get on the ball. Literally, get on the ball.
A ball that rolls one direction. Don't get on a round ball.
Yes.
No, it's
Oh,
really
yes,
true.
yes, yes.
I've taken all of my workouts onto the ball.
My number one tip would be do it and see how you feel. It's so hard to put into words how it makes you feel. It's so different than regular yoga class or regular, static stretching.
Everybody's going, never ever give up. Carpe diem. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I
yeah.
love it. Well,
I've been so far down. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, had we given up or accepted our sentence, we would not be sitting here on a live feed tonight encouraging other people. So I'm grateful for my struggles. I know that you are, and I hope that it helped somebody out there tonight. So I'm going to give you my go-do. So my go-do is go join the Fascia Yoga group, get your ball, and get to it. All this information is 100% free. Even if you don't have the ball, it's $25. Come on, we're talking about changing your life for $25. Go follow Julie and dive into the New Year, New You program. I did see some people saying, oh, I'm not sticking with it. That's where the companion guide comes in, you guys. It's only like $12 right now. Go get it, get on a program, and let the strong, amazing women in this group and on this feed and in the other groups, let them help you. Get out of your own way and let's do this.
Yes. I'll see you all in the Fascia Yoga group. If you're not already there, come join me.
All right, guys. Everybody, good night. Thank you again. God bless.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Ashley.
Bye, Julie. Talk soon.